Hey, what's up everybody? Today I am doing another tier list. Today it's for special weapons, special exotics. So yeah, let's just get into it. Again, these are all my opinion, mostly PvE, a little bit of PvP here and there for major outliers, maybe, we'll see. Anyways, yeah, let's just get into this. Tessellation, $100 exotic. It's the pre-roll or pre-order bonus for the final shape. Everyone will get it like after launch, maybe few months after launch, not sure. So where would I put? Honestly, I'd put it in B. Like, I know technically it's good, but it's just not. It really doesn't hit. You know, like, it hits hard. And it could do some decent things, but it's just not there. At least for me. Next up, Arbalist. It's an S tier for me. So when you talk about Arbalist, in the vacuum of only special weapons, I think it's S tier. Once you include primaries in it, it might get knocked down to A because Wish Ender is kind of just strictly better in a lot of respects. But the ability to always have anti-barrier and for it to deal more damage after breaking that barrier and to be able to take out all shields with one weapon, even though match game isn't a thing anymore and that really crippled Arbalist a little bit, it's still good. Like, it's still pretty solid to use. Also, Ghost of the Deep, I wouldn't say it's necessary for the solo at all, but it really helps make the solo way easier to do. So yeah, Arbalist, I think S tier is perfectly fine for it. Duality, I think C tier is fine. Like, it, end of the day, it's just kind of a shotgun, no matter what. It's like it either shoots slugs or pellets, but it's just a shotgun. Bastion, I'll go F tier. It's a little too unique to be a blue. We'll go D tier. It does stun unstoppables. Other than that, it's not that great. If it had kinetic tremors on it, that would help it out a little bit. And maybe some other stuff along the way, but it just doesn't do a lot, you know? Edge of Action, I'll put in C tier. It makes the bubble. The bubble's pretty solid. Concurrence, I'll put in D tier. It's just a worse Trinity Ghoul. And Edge of Intent, I'll put in F tier, honestly. Like, Healing Turret, in theory, is a good thing. But it really isn't useful. Like, I would say the glaives are all better now, but I'm not putting Edge of Action in B tier, and Edge of Concurrence is not bad. You know, I said I'm keeping in the vacuum of special weapons, so we'll do that. And I still think Edge of Intent's F tier. Like, there's no reason for it to exist. If you're on Solar, you have healing grenades. If you're on Void, you have Devour because you're a warlock. Like, you just have better ways to heal yourself than Edge of Action. And you can heal your allies with a lot of those tools also. So I personally just don't see the use in it. Borealis. It's a blue, baby. It's a blue. It's a blue. Yeah, it's not great. You can change the flavor of it. And whenever you pop a shield, it does a little bit more damage. But that's about it. See, if it was also anti-barrier intrinsically, I think that would help it out. But in a non-match game world where Arbalist stumbled, Borealis was thrown down the flight of stairs. Okay, it's not good. So now we got Chappie. Good old Chaperone. I'll put in B tier. You know, sick reload sounds, sick reload animations. When you whip it out, you flip it by the lever, and that's sick. But yeah, it's not my favorite. So I think B tier's fair for it. Fourth Horseman, A tier. It's a little too niche to be S, but, you know, high damage, high DPS. And it's just fun. It's a fun thing to use. And I think that's important to keep in mind all the time. X-Dearest. I like it. I like X-Dearest. Not everyone does. I'd put it in B tier. It's an ad clear exotic. It's not doing a lot of boss damage. Mothkeeper's wraps buff it up, which is nice, but, you know, it's not a great exotic on its own. So we'll put it in B tier. I'm putting Vexcalibur in A. Void Overshield needs a buff again, in my opinion. A lot of damage resistance needs nerfed. I think Void Overshield could use a buff, and Vexcalibur would massively benefit from that. And also having a shotgun spread massively makes it better as a glaive and a support tool. It's one of the better support options for exotic weapons, in my opinion. You know, Lumina's great, but this is, you don't even need a kill. You just shoot something, you give your whole team Void Overshield. It kind of slaps. And if one of your teammates is using, you know, no backup plans and Bakris, that's increasing their damage a lot. There's a lot of benefits from it, kind of. Buried Bloodline. I'll put in A tier. I don't have it because my RNG is dog. It's bad. But I'll put it in A tier. Like, it's good. It's solid. The Navigator, S tier. The ability to make strand grapple points is nuts. And having that ability while being on Titan is so busted. Like, the things you can do in a damage phase because of Navigator as a Titan is insane. You make the grapple point, you switch the tractor cannon, debuff the boss, and you just sit there grappling the point, punching. It's nuts. Wither Horde, I'm putting it in S tier. I know a lot of people would disagree. I don't care, you know? It's easy, quick damage. It has auto loading on it. So with bait and switch, it's solid. It's weird to say that something so passive is fun, but it kind of is. I like it. You can make AoE pools with it, so you could do a little bit of ad clear with a grenade launcher. There's a lot of things it does that I enjoy. It's a menace in the crucible. So I enjoy Wither Horde. I know not everyone is a fan of it. If I don't know what else to throw in my kinetic slot and I'm already using legendaries and energy and heavy, I'm just throwing Wither Horde on. Like 9 times out of 10, that's what's happening. So yeah, I think Wither Horde in S tier is perfectly fair and fine. Let's go with S tier for conditional finality. PvP. It's one of the best exotics in the game because it's the only counter to Bubble and Well. And then in PvE, it's really fun. It's really solid. I kind of want more things like it. I do almost kind of wish it was in the heavy slot and just did more damage because it's, you know, it's a double barrel shotgun. So then you can make a new archetype of heavy shotguns that are double barrels. But like, I don't know. The heavy slot fusing light and dark damage, I think fits with it, but I think it's more unique being in the Kinetic slot. So it's just kind of, you know, an in-between. Wave Splitter's going D tier. Like, I used to love it, but now I don't use it. I don't know. It used to be really good with Volatile, but they've nerfed how Volatile works, and Wave Splitter suffered for it. So it's D tier for me, especially because there's legendary trace rifles with lead from gold that are also void. So you get more ammo, so you could use double special and have a trace rifle be kind of your primary. That's just me, though. Ariana's Vow, I'll put an A tier. It's just worse Arbalest. That's all it is. Strictly worse Arbalest. I wish that wasn't the case, but it is. So, you know. Cold Heart. I'll put an A tier, actually. Double special builds with Cold Heart are still solid if you're on Arc, especially on Warlock, because you're running an ability build, but you have a trace rifle for whenever you need to shoot something for once. And then you have like a high damage boss damage grenade launcher or a blinding grenade launcher in your kinetic slot. Your heavy slot is just straight up lots of damage. I think Cold Heart is really good for that kind of thing, and it can do a lot of goofy things on Arc. So, yeah, I think an A tier is fine for it, not S for sure. Cloud Strike, I'm putting in B tier. It got a slight nerf for Crucible, slight. Still good there. It's fun to use in PvE, but I wouldn't... snipers are not in a great spot. So, I think B tier is fine. The triple wave frame, I'll put it in C tier. It's fine. It's really funny with avoid builds, doing volatile things. You can scorch a lot of enemies right now because solar weapons apply scorch. I think a good thing they could do, because match game going away, for Borealis and Dead Messenger specifically, maybe not hard light, is depending on the element, it gives you a different, buff associated with that element. So maybe, incandescent or heal clip. I think heal clip on Dead Messenger would kind of slap a little bit. And then void, you either do repulsor brace or I think destabilizing rounds, especially for Dead Messenger, because all those kills will spread volatile. Arc, I'd say Volt Shot would be great for Borealis. Maybe not do that for Dead Messenger. That's a lot. So maybe you do Eddy Current for it. I don't know. I just give it something. Make us have a benefit for changing it other than it can match our subclass or the surge and our heavy. It's fine. It just can't stand on its own. I'll actually put it in D tier. It's not good. Like, there's a couple of fun builds you could do, especially on Void, and right now on Solar too, but it's just not great. Forerunner, actually S tier. I think I only put in A tier or B tier last year, but I think S tier now because it's so good against Tormentors. It's so good against them. Yeah, it's great against Tormentors. Yeah, that's kind of it, honestly. It's just really good against Tormentors. Is good generally, has a lot of ammo. Just high precision damage, I'm calling Telesto a blue. I don't need to elaborate that. It just breaks the game. That's all it does. Izzy is an S tier exotic. It's the best exotic sniper in the game. Better than Whisper. Better than fucking Darcy. It's better than the heavies. Yeah, I would put Izzy in S tier any day of the week. Delicate Tomb. I'll say I'll bump it up to F. It's at least unique. And it makes ionic traces, which is solid. Divinity S tier still. Like, the nerf didn't do a whole lot to make it bad. Like, you still get the crisp spot. That was the main thing. It only does half the weaken effect. Which, in my opinion, it really doesn't need to do that. There's no reason for it to do that in today's game, because there's so many ways to apply weaken, and a lot of people just run tractor cannon or a void hunter anyways. So there's no point in nerfing that part of it. I mean, there was, because now you have to, relegate more attention to that. But, like, they could just increase its own damage, get rid of the weaken effect, and, I wouldn't even take it out of the A tier because the bubble is so good. Like, the bubble is what makes it good. So it's never leaving S, especially now that Cenotaph is in the game. That was insane. I don't know why they did that. Agarceptor. It's a great trace rifle. I think it's better than Cold Heart. I think the only one better is Divinity because of its support utility. Agarceptor, though, makes stasis kind of dumb sometimes. Big fan of it. Jotun, we're going C tier. It's better than this stuff, but it's not great. Tracking projectiles, funny and crucible. That's all it's got. The low Lord of Wolves, going D tier. It's a 5-round pulse rifle with no range. That's all it is. Takes special ammo too. Lorentz Driver, I'll put in C tier. I'm not a fan of it. I never was. Even when it was broken, I was not a fan of it. Picking up the tokens to do more damage, whatever. Pulling in things, it's just, I don't know. I'm not a big fan of it generally. So I know there's some Lorentz Glazers out there. I'm not them. I'm not like them. They not like us, Over here, we are not Lorentz enjoyers. But Merciless is going A tier. Anyways. Moving on. Merciless is A tier. It's very solid damage, at medium to close ranges. I really enjoy it. Ear Ute, it's really fun to use against. So, that kind of damage range, I think Merciless is a really fun option. Prometheus Lens. I will put it in C tier. It's an ad clear exotic heavy. Not heavy. Special. Which just on its face is odd. But that's what it is. I'm going to put Ruinous FG in D tier. Dunking puts you in danger. It doesn't have the tools. See, if the guard gave you Void Overshield, maybe. But, both of these trace rifles are just not great. Especially compared to these 3 up here. So, yeah, that's why I did that. I'm just double checking, see if there's any more specials hiding. It doesn't look like it. If I somehow didn't rank a special, let me know. And I'll try to address that. Anyways, here's my tier list. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed that. But yeah, this is my special weapon tier list. Of course, because it is my opinion is definitively true and objective fact. So if you try to disagree, kindly remember that it's pointless, just accept that you're wrong now and accept that this is the truth. Anyways, thank you so much for watching and I'll see you next time.